let's talk pay the win in Diablo Immortal. I'm just going to break it down in a non-emotional, informative video for you just to make it really clear and easy about what's going on in Diablo Immortal. Consider subscribing and liking the video if you want to. So here we go. Berserker's Eye. This is a legendary gem. Increases all damage you deal by 5%, but increases all damage you take by 6%. When it's rank 3, it'll increase your critical chance. When it's rank 5, it'll increase your magic find. Here's the Black Rose, another such legendary gem. If you're attacked, chance to summon vines and immobilize the attacker. At rank 3, it goes up. At rank 5, unlocks magic find. Okay, moving on here. Speed of the primary attack, damage of the primary attack, increases magic find. So essentially how legendary gems work is they go onto items and they modify items to give you bonus stats, of which we are reading here. Now, gems can be ranked up, and in order to be awakened, which is crucially important to understand, you have to have the gem be a rank 10. In order to get a gem to be ranked up, you need a variety of things. You need experience, of which you can level the actual gem itself, which is called gem powder. And gem powder itself is something that you get from other legendary gems. So once again, it's going to come down to effectively getting more legendary gems. Once it's max experience and you want to rank it up from one rank to the next rank, you have to have a duplicate of that gem. So let's say I have 2 Berserker's Eyes and it's max experience, and I want to bring it from rank 2 to rank 3. I would take the duplicate plus the full experience it's at. I will crunch it into itself, and it is now becoming rank 3. Okay, so you can understand, seems pretty simple. You need duplicates of it. Now let's talk about what awakening is. Once a gem is rank 10, what can happen is you can then purchase one of these. You'll notice it is in the shop. It costs 1,000 Eternal Orbs. This is the only thing in the game as it stands that is 100% paywalled, meaning it is factually impossible to get unless you spend real life money. This is a $10 bill is what you're looking at here. And what this will do is awaken your piece of gear, and awakening increases its stats. So here's your 6 different pieces for the gem resonance. If you look at it, $10 will awaken one of these spots. You can tell there's 6 spots, 6 gems, 6 items, means $60. So effectively, you're looking at in-game, by the time you've awakened all of these pieces, before we're talking about the leveling and experience to get the gems, which we'll talk about in a moment, it is going to be $60, which is going to awaken your 6 primary pieces. So we know $60 for a fact. And now, we'll talk about the Battle Pass in a moment, but I think it's clear and important to mention that the Battle Pass is currently considered a good deal. I think most people aren't complaining about the $5 to $15. They're complaining about the $50,000 to $60,000. So that's what we're addressing. And I'm addressing where these numbers where people are like, it's so pay to win, it's dozens of thousands of dollars. I'm addressing how that can be possible. So if you look at this, awakening an item is going to be important. Why is awakening an item going to be important? Because let's say you pick a barbarian and you have a weapon. You'll notice the weapon's pretty good, increases your whirlwind radius, but the awaken consumes your energy 10% slower, meaning your whirlwind lasts 10% longer. Cooldown's very important in Diablo. Lots of cooldown decreases you'll see for awakening different things, damage increases. So it's basically flat stats. We'll put it that way, it's just stats. So you're gonna get bonus stats, and keep in mind, there's one of these for each of these 6 spots, and each of these is a $10 bill that there is no other way to get your hands on. Just to be aware. Now let's talk about how we actually get, because you can see in order to awaken an item, it has to be rank 10. So let's talk about how you can get an item to rank 10. So there's something called these crests, and these crests are effectively how you pay the win. So you'll be buying crests in the shop if you are pay the winning, and you'll see here they cost Eternal Orbs, which is effectively the premium currency in this game. Now, what these crests are going to do is going to allow you to obtain Fading Ember, Runes, and Legendary Gems. Now, if you're wondering what Fading Ember and Runes are, these are both part of a system of either purchasing or crafting Legendary Gems. So again, it comes down to just getting more Legendary Gems. Because in order to upgrade a Legendary Gem, what you need is a duplicate of itself, as well as other Legendary Gems that you're going to crunch into something called Gem Powder, which is then used as experience. So you can understand that basically it's all about just getting a vast number of legendary gems is really what it boils down to. Okay, so how do we actually get these vast number of legendary gems? Well, when you purchase the legendary crests themselves, it's spammable in the shop, and you'll be using these to modify your riffs. So when you purchase these, what it's actually going to end up doing, and we can go here, let's see activities. We're going to go to the Elder Rifts real quick in order to show this. So when you purchase these and put them in, you can see right here, this is a pretty good screenshot to show here. So you can see you can add up to 10 of these legendary crests as it stood during the beta. So you can purchase 10 of them, and each one that you add in is going to increase the drops that you're going to get from Elder Rifts. And if you don't know what Elder Rifts are, these are basically spammable, repeatable, RNG or procedurally generated type of dungeons that at the end give you a burst of rewards. And that burst of rewards are dependent upon how many of these crests you're adding. So the pay to win is going to be in basically buying things to modify it to give it more drops at the end, effectively bypassing how many of the rifts total you need to do in order to speed up the process of leveling up these gems. So what does this mean for the top players and for the leaderboard? Well, the people at the top of the leaderboard are going to be people that are basically buying out as many legendary crests as possible and competing with other people doing the same. The very top of the leaderboard is going to be extremely well. It's going to be the people who are spending as much money as they possibly can to get a power advantage. I would know. I've done this in many mobile games. I can tell you for a fact it works. However, there's a couple caveats to this I want to mention. First and foremost, this mechanic is sort of an anti-well mechanic at the same time because of the exponential nature of how leveling works in Diablo. You will eventually have to spend obscene amounts of money if you want to rush past everything, which is where I think people are misunderstanding and getting these large numbers. You have to actually play the game in order to spend the money. You cannot purchase 1,000 crests and skip the rifts. You still have to play the game. You have to beat the rifts. Yes, you will be beating the rifts quicker if you're a well because you will have more power. I will freely admit that. But the wells themselves are still going to be time gated by the fact they have to clear the rifts, regardless of whether or not they're getting bonus resources at all. What's going to end up happening then is the top leaderboards are going to be people competing with the speed of which they can clear the rifts while maintaining the maximum amount of crest modifications. Because trust me, there will be people that will just pay the maximum amount possible when it comes out. Okay. It's sort of an anti-well mechanic because the exponential nature of the experience you're going to need is more and more and more and more and more. Excuse me. So what that means is as you pay more and more and more, it becomes less and less and less effective. This has been proven that this is the way that they like to do this thing because you can look at the way the World Paragon system works, and they've already shown that they want people to be able to catch up effectively. AKA what I'm saying is welling is going to be like other mobile games where it works to a certain point. Then it's going to be ridiculously expensive, and that ridiculous expensive amount is only going to be adjusting your position within like the top 10 and not necessarily doing too much else. I think what's going to happen is we're going to see lots of wells end up competing with each other because there's going to be a large number of servers. It's going to be a highly popular game. There's going to be wells spread out through basically all of the servers, and you're going to see 3 or 4 wells probably competing in each server for those top spots by themselves, and all the other standard players are going to be populating the rest of the leaderboard. Is this going to ruin the game for us as average players? I don't think it should. The reason I don't think it should is because the only reason you log into Diablo Immortal is to try to be the #1 on the leaderboard and doing it while being free to play, it doesn't affect you. The only thing it's going to affect you for is the Immortal and Shadow system, which again, the Shadow system we've covered in another video. It is factually impossible for the Immortals, aka the Wells or the top clan. I'm assuming it's going to be Wells at the top. It's impossible for them to hold the reign forever. And all the other free-to-play people that are going to be piling in the Shadow Clan get more and more and more damage boost until they can eventually win themselves. So if you really care about the top leaderboards, you still have opportunities to hit Immortal and have your name on the permanent wall, regardless of if you spend any money or not. Because the way the Shadow lottery system works, you have to actually log in every day and go and sit there and try to be lotteried into being the Shadow Clan, which doesn't have anything to do with how much money you spend. It has to do with how much time you're playing and if whether or not you're actually online when the lottery is getting picked. So that's a gameplay mechanic. So the average person, yes, you're not going to be able to compete with people cresting out and spending ridiculous amounts of money. However, there's an MMR system in PvP, meaning you're not going to be competing with these people once they crunch past the first month. We covered this in our PvP video before. And there's also a system to help you get into and benefit from clans that are not wells when competing with the Immortals. So there's a few systems that can leave some hope in there for you in order to get to the top of the leaderboards, even if you're not welling. However, yes, this absolutely is going to be a pay-to-win mechanic, There will be legendary gems that will drop significantly more for the whales than anyone else. However, there's one other cool mechanic I haven't talked about yet, which is that if you are friends with a whale who is paying for these legendary crests, they actually drop the fading embers for everyone in your party if someone's using a legendary crest. Now, effectively, this means all the whales are going to party up and do it so that way you guys are all sharing the fading embers because it does stack. However, in real life, if you have friends who are spending $50, $100 and you're spending $0, this is another way for them to help you out and effectively help you farm these legendary gems without you actually spending any money at all. So again, being in the clan is going to be crucially important because this is a MMORPG, and in MMORPGs, one of the most important things to getting stronger is teaming up and sort of, I would use the term exploiting, but it's not a great terminology, using to your advantage these type of in-game systems that are implemented that will allow you to carry people. I think that's going to be a part of it as well. Let me know what you think about this system. This is just how it works. I'm not trying to give too much of my own personal biased opinion or anything like that in this. I just want you to understand, yes, the legendary gem system is infinitely wellable. Yes, if you want to max out everything day one, it's going to cost absolutely ridiculous numbers. And absolutely, the very top of the leaderboards will be populated by whales. But I don't think that's actually going to ruin the game for the average player because there's only a certain many spots on the leaderboard anyway. Like the average player wasn't going to hit the top of the leaderboard literally anyway. There's only like 10 of those spots. Okay, so that's the way I see it. You're welcome to your own opinion, and I want to know your own opinion in the comments down below. Subscribe for more information, like if you like the video and the breakdown, and I'll see you on the next Diablo Immortal video on this channel.